Hey, how you guys? I'm doing good. My name is Angie Morenga. You're watching Just Angie, and today I want to talk about fear. I want us to look at fear in different places, different spaces and different aspects of our lives. And I think I'll also use my own examples. I mean, fear is something that is there for all of us. Even as you see us stepping out boldly, there was fear. And the story of Gideon comes to mind, you know. I love the fact that even God has said that sort of in his word that it's okay to have fear, because Gideon, so many things that happened for Gideon. And then he gets to the point where now he's going to actually go and defeat the Midianites, but he still has fear. And then God says, go listen to them talking about the victory. So that makes me understand that God understands that we can have fear. But still, nevertheless, fear or no fear, we've got to step out into what we're being called to do. And that's why I say it, albeit with fear and trembling, but we've got to step out into what God is asking us to do, and we have to do it, you know. And you know, I keep saying that man is a spirit because of Genesis 1:26-28. We're created in his image and his likeness, and we are spirit beings, you know. It doesn't say that the Christians are the ones who are spirit beings. It says all of man is, every man is created in the image and likeness of God, and God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. So God is spirit first. You know, he created the spirit, then he breathed his life into man and into the body. And also, one way I like to explain that is that when we have death, we have the separation of the spirit and the body. So the spirit continues to live on, but the body is now dead, and that's what now we discard or we lay to rest. So everybody has fear, but we still have to step out despite the fear, you know. You do it with fear and trembling, but you're moving forward. And the reason why I was talking about man being a spirit is that things resonate in your spirit, you know. Things, you can't make sense of them. You know, you really don't know why you're feeling that this is the way that you need to go, but you just feel it, and it's so strong, and it resonates with your spirit, and that's what you need to follow after. And I think for fear also sometimes is thinking that God replaces people. You know, he says, I said to you earlier in the video, he says next. He just shouts, you know. I'm still unsettled by the fact that he said, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now Joshua, you know. It's like he moves on swiftly. He says his vision doesn't wait for any person. So there are some funny incidents, and maybe not so funny incidences, where we've had even people like PLF alumni, where God will give them a download, give them something to do, or want them to execute something, and then they don't. And then I was saying, then you're invited to sit in the front row of that vision being executed by somebody else, and you're a spectator, but into something that God had asked you to do. You know, so God he removes people out of the way and says, okay, next, you know, who's going to obey me? And I think even in situations, I think I said that before, even in meetings, when people are saying something, you can't be so fearful, you know. So you have the right answer, but you don't say it. Then somebody else says it, and you think, yeah, that's what I was thinking, or I was thinking, but I didn't say it. You know, you have to be bold. You have to be strong. You have to be courageous. This is all about leadership. You know, in Joshua 1:1-8, I love the fact that God says to Joshua 3 times, be strong and be very courageous. And you just have to do it. Like I remember, let me give you a personal story. Like when I was transitioning from corporate marketplace into full-time ministry, I mean, it got to a place where now I knew that I needed to do this thing. And then I love the way that God speaks to us, each with our personality and how our personality is. So for me, I know that I can work myself into a frenzy and really panic and go into serious panic and drama when something is not right. And the best thing for me, when I know that something is of God and I'm supposed to do it, is I have peace. I may have fear, but I have peace. I have peace, and there's peace. I am so peaceful that I know that this is the way that I'm supposed to go. So you need to identify. I always challenge leaders, identify your pattern, identify what speaks to you, how does God speak to you, what is your personality like. I always say, like, God will not come shouting to a person who wants to be responded to in a whisper. You know, he will respond to you in your personality. For me, there's a lot of drama when he speaks to me because I'm a dramaful person. So that's the way I get it. And I was saying that, the journey started in the beginning of the year. I think it was like 2006, and we did a study as a church on Mizizi, and on the week 4 there was about dying to self. And you know, I really cried that week. And when I look back, because you understand purpose backwards, I then understood why. Now I understand why I cried like that. I wept. I like crying, but I really cried that week. And I like drama, so Mavuno also has a lot of drama. I love the way they do their sermons. So we came to church on a Sunday, and 2 sets of guys walked in with black suits and shades carrying coffins, and they put the coffins in the front. Eh? Then we were told to file past the coffins. Allah. When we passed the coffins, there was a mirror and you saw yourself inside the coffin. Hey, Seba, wake up call. What the hell? We're like, you know, this thing called death, we feel like it's somewhere in the distant past. It's there in the horizon, but it's not actually there. We don't really think about it. So that day we were forced to look at ourselves, and the subject was dying to self so that you can do what God wants you to do. And I think for me, that started a process of, okay, I started hearing God saying, at the end of this year, I want you to quit your job and go into full-time ministry. And first of all, I was like, what is that? And I was like, no way. Go find somebody else. Me, I'm the one who, the husband has left me. You know, you start counting the list of things that have happened to you, like, go find somebody else. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a process through the fear. So I actually did I did a purpose-driven life with a group of friends, and we did a 40-day fast, which I say technically was not a fast because I drank so much tea. So I don't know how that was a fast. A fast is a fast, but still God honored me. Thank God for God and His grace. And then I did a 40-day fast. And all this I'm trying to confirm, do you really want me to quit my job at the end of the year and go into church and go into full-time ministry? Are you serious? Who's going to feed my child? Who's going to pay my rent? What are we going to do? And all kind of crazy questions were happening. But through that process, I just started becoming quieter. And I understood, first of all, the scripture that says, like a lamb led to the slaughter. So I went into a 40-day fast to protest and explain to God, excuse me, find somebody else for these assignments that you like to give people. And stop giving me this assignment. And I'm not going to quit my job. I'm not going to go into full-time ministry, or show me why. So I'm trying to show you processes and steps that you can take to overcome fear. Number one, confront the fear. What is it that you're fearing? What is it that God is saying? What is it that your spirit is resonating with your spirit that you need to do? Why do you need to do it? Examine it. And then, like, go into a fast, read a book. I did Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. There are people who have done the Purpose and Leadership Forum. Do something that is going to now give you the courage to step out and do what you need to do. So that's what I did. And then I'm telling you, I went into the fast very angry. I was so quiet. By the time this fast was ending, I was really quiet. I knew that I had to quit my job at the end of the year and step boldly into this next phase of my life, or whatever it is God was calling me to do. And I did. And that was around the middle of the year. And for me, I think, I don't know, it's coming, so let me just share. For me, I think the smoking thing, because when I got born again, and we're going to do a video about that. When I got born again, I didn't stop smoking. And Christians were judging me. And so my pastor made me stand on the stage of the church and confess that I was a born-again Christian, but smoking and still struggling with smoking. But somehow those were one of the things. I did a Gideon. I said, okay, God, you want me to serve you? You want me to confirm that you want me into ministry? Number one, stop smoking. Hey, so definitely that happened. So I think from around May to October, I asked God for 3 things, and all those 3 things came to pass. And the first one was stop smoking. I need to stop. If you want me to go and serve you, I'm not going to serve you when I'm smoking. And it went, completely went, prayed, delivered. I think confession was important. I confessed it in front of a church. At that point, I didn't know that my ministry calling was as great as to that level. So that's why I had to confess to the church. Thank God for the wisdom of pastors, Pastor Mrithi Wanjao. So I did. I confessed and got delivered from smoking and the other 3 things that I had asked God for. Then by the end of the year now, November actually came and I had to write the resignation letter. Hey, and when I wrote the resignation letter, I had so much peace. All hell, for lack of a better word, broke loose around me. Everybody went into crazy mode. Family, friends, parents. What is wrong with you? What are you doing? Even the business where I was working, where are you going? People go to church on Sunday. It was completely crazy. And even I didn't know. And I was but I had so much peace and I quit, gave my notice and I left. But there's something I wanted to say as well. So the last day when I had now work was over and the place I used to work, they done a party for me and then they gave me a book. And it was a Daily Bread and I've never read that Daily Bread ever again. But I remember, I think it was around the 21st of December and I said, what have you done? Now I said, what? Angie Morenga, what have you done? And I opened the Daily Bread and the place I opened, I was like, hey, okay, completely God speaks. It just said, today, you're walking into the unknown, never look back, and move forward. Hey, I was like, hey, okay. loud and clear. Nimeshika your story. I never read that Daily Bread again. That's the only message. And I just opened it randomly. And those kind of things happen to me a lot. I just opened it randomly. And there was a message. You're walking to the unknown. Keep walking and don't move forward. Don't look backward. And that's what you need to do. Just overcome fear. And you see, Gideon also really tested God's patience. He was saying, I don't know, Mara, the fleece should be wet and the ground dry. Then Mara, the ground dry. He was just stressing God. But what I like is God is ready for those kind of things. Say, okay, this is my fear. These are my fears. These are the signs I want you to give me, that this is you confirming this. Speak to him. Just tell him, but do it. You have to step out in boldness. And I also want to talk about entrepreneurs, especially people who are being asked to step out and do business. Number one, I think you can do it, like I keep saying, create an exit plan in your work, where you're working. If you're working and you feel like you're being called to go into business, you don't have to do cold turkey like we did. Just create a plan. Tell God, okay, you know my fears, address my fears. So overcome fear. The Bible says that we'll not be given a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, a spirit of love, and of a sound mind. So overcome that fear, create a plan to overcome that fear, form a think tank, get an accountability partner, share, get ideas, see how you can do this with somebody else, somebody holding your hand, get a coach, pray through it, but do something. So I'm really glad. I think I'll do another video on fear, because there's still, I feel like a lot I haven't said, but I think what I've said is sufficient for now. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for engaging with us. My name is Angie Morenga, and you're watching Just Angie. Remember to engage, change, and lead.